Racism in the game has affected everyone: the fans, the players, the clubs, the associations, and many more. The fans are affected as a racist group of fans decided to abuse their own or opposition fans. Examples of this are back in 2010 when Chelsea fans were away in Paris, and on their way home a group of white Chelsea fans decided to push a group of black Chelsea fans off the train. This was a racist act and left the people involved banned from going to Chelsea games for 5 years, and were ordered to pay the men they pushed off the train £10,000 in compensation. It's affected the players as when they are playing, players are used to getting stick from opposition fans, but not in a racist way. However, when it does turn racist, it becomes a lot more personal and can have a lasting effect on the player and on their mental health as well. Associations like the FA are affected by the racism as it shines on a negative light on them, and they're the ones who have to hand out the punishments. Many people, though, do not like how the FA deal with racism, as they have handed Millwall a £33,000 fine for fans being racist, but handed Huddersfield a £50,000 fine for performing a publicity stunt. This shows that the FA as an association do not deal with racism as they should do, in a harsher way, to create more deterrent from it. Change has come about in football to do with racism as society has evolved with what they believe is right and what is wrong, as before using racist language used to be acceptable and is now not tolerant at all by authorities and majority of people in the world. Also, with the players, we watch they used to be all white with England's World Cup winning squad back in 1966. However, if you look at the squad now, there are many more black players at the elite level, and the England squad is near 50-50 divided with race in the team, making it again worse and causes changes. There have been positive changes to racism, though. The organisation Kickout is an initiative, and our service to provide a platform so that people can report incidents to the club and not have to confront the person themselves. The use of this app is going up everywhere, and the last year saw an increase of 43% from the previous year, showing that it is working and getting people to report incidents. However, for the future, I would recommend that the FA to take an insight into harsh punishments to those caught using racist language or abuse in the stadiums. By doing this, it would be put people off from using these actions. In sport, the gender of an athlete determines a lot of unseen or unthought of things that can happen to them. This doesn't start when they are an adult athlete either, but starts in their upbringing. During the upbringing of a child throughout history and still up to this day, boys and girls have been treated differently. Not only with what they do, with subtle things like their clothes and their toys and what role models they're shown from an early age. Young boys are usually exposed to things like superheroes or action mans or Lego or being active. This therefore leads them into the future of growing up to enjoy taking on more hands-on and tough things like different sports, more contact sports possibly. boys' role models from a young age are also likely to be superheroes who are shown out to be active and physical. Girls, however, from a young age are typically exposed to things like dolls, dressing up, and given role models of princesses who aren't active but are shown as vulnerable people that rather wait to be saved from a man rather than getting physical themselves. Also, girls are typically more protected than boys from a younger age, and as they go on through life as well. This again lets the boys have more freedom to try more things and learn from mistakes quicker, then to also see what they do and don't like quicker as they have more opportunities from a younger age. This affects how they grow up and what they want to do as well. Boys would typically start with physical things much earlier than girls, like sports, which leads on to them having a higher standard only because they have been playing for longer. This can be seen in other sports such as football and rugby. Obviously, this was all generalised to make a point, and nowadays things are changing and girls are having more opportunities and more role models that are more forward-thinking and independent, which will hopefully change the idea that they cannot do physical active things like sports, which in the long run will increase their sporting performance levels as well. This is all down to the socialisation of the child and what they watch and see and learn and develop into them doing themselves in later life. Also, with growing up for boys and girls throughout secondary school and teenage years. For teenagers, it feels important for a lot of them to be fit. This also leads to increase in performance and participant levels for the boys, as it's a stereotypical thing for them to do, and vice versa for the girls, as they typically would not take part in sport as they have normally grown up doing it. So taking part would not sort of count as fitting in. The media also has a huge part to do with gender in sport. This relates to what is shown in the media, with the sports pages of the newspapers and websites being mainly dominated by men's sports, and only 3 to 4 different men's sports at that. This overall of men's sports being included on sports pages means that women's sports news is rarely picked up on by the mass public who go to these places to get their news. Without the public being able to have easy access to women's sport, it results in the interest for it not to be generated. It also displays a facade to females that want to get into the sport that there isn't much women's sport going on, when in reality there is, as it means that is when in reality there is just as much women's sport going on as there is male sport. It just isn't being picked up on by the media. This will also have an influence on young girls as well who want to get into sport, as it means they will struggle to get role models and get interested in the sports as they only have access to men's sporting news. However, it is easier than ever now to get into news about women's sport, even if it isn't heavily reported as men's, with the introduction of new technology and the internet, news sites being able to upload as much as they want, means that they don't have to rule out news articles for space for different, more popular stories. The media also shows differences between the genders in interviews and what they talk about. This is because generally with men's sports, they will in post-match interviews talk about the game and how it went, and if they think they played well and how to improve. Whereas a lot of the time with women's sports, they focus on what they're wearing or their hair, or stereotypically girl things like that. This gives a negative perception on female performers, as it gives the impression that the media don't think that people want to know their views on the game, but rather than the women watching would like to the women watching would rather like to see what they wear or how they did their hair, which isn't the case. They're watching for the same reason as everybody else, to see how the game falls out and stuff like that. The final issue with gender in sport is the marketing. Marketing in sport is a huge moneymaker for a lot of companies, and one of the easiest ways to make products is if it's directed at a wide target demographic. This is because if there is a wider demographic, more people are likely to buy certain products, and it's one of the easiest ways to get a large demographic is dividing the products to focus for males and females, as it is like a natural divide. However, how they market these products is where the issue comes in. Products for younger children are usually split into boys, typically will have blue things, and girls will have pink things. The marketing divide also subconsciously molds what the children think they can do and how they are, which again links to the first part of socialization, where they start to become, and the marketing for what they play and wear being so different, it's no wonder boys and girls end up thinking and acting different in the long run over sport and participating in it. Drugs. The issue of drugs is the fact that there have never been occasions where athletes have taken drugs as performance enhancers, and this being legal and can make the games unfair for the people that don't do it. This is a big problem, as it means that there have been times where people have cheated to win, and this is unfair on people who don't do it, and also takes away from the sport the success as it is done illegally. You'll find that this is mostly done in athletics and more endurance events. Historically, with drugs in sport, there isn't much information on the subject, as technology wasn't developed enough to be able to find and test substances. However, one of the first cases was done in 1985. When an athlete takes a drug, they're initially looking for that physical side effect which will help them win. Each individual drug has its advantages and disadvantages. Among the most popular performance enhancing drugs are anabolic steroids, EPO, beta blockers, stimulants and diuretics, to name just a few. Anabolic steroids are used for increase in muscle mass. It is generally used by bodybuilders, weightlifters or any predominantly power involved sport. By taking the drug, it will increase muscle mass and therefore strength, allowing the athlete to lift or throw more. However, a couple of disadvantages are paranoia and increased aggression, also known as roid rage. Edgar Davis was banned from football for up to 2 years after failing a second drug test. Results from his B sample confirmed that the 28-year-old David had tested positive for banned anabolic steroids. EPO is a synthetic chemical which is used to increase the production of red blood cells. The performance enhancer is generally used in by endurance athletes and stereotypically by road cyclists due to Lance Armstrong. The main reason people